What? Bang!
Wrestling podcast. Just when they think they got the answers, I change the question.
Rep through rep.
Yeah.
Woo! Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Did he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am Macho King Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for... It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping way too much money every single year to get the latest and greatest wrestling video games? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, found at app.wrestlerunstoppable.com, where it's totally free to create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like my good buddy John down in Texas, then you got to pop by our Patreon page at patreon.com/Fro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. We do have loyalty rewards. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you get to co-host a show with me live. If you have $7.50 a month donated, you get entered into a drawing to also host a show with myself. If you would like to join our free tier, that's perfectly okay as well. It'll let you know every time we put something new up, and that way you're notified so you know to check out the latest episodes. Any financial contribution whatsoever that is repetitive every month, I'm happy to give you a shout out, just like my buddy John in Texas, from $1 on up. I don't care. I like giving shout outs to my listeners. Thank you so much for supporting the show. If you have questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in the future episode, the best way to get that to me is through the Fro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160, and I will get to those in a future episode. Welcome to this episode of the Fro Wrestling Podcast. I am Dr. Fro, and tonight we're jumping into some of the day's news and rumors, starting with the WWE NXT Women's North American Championship and Speed Championship unification. Now, look, I understand Zarya, you really want to push her to a prime position. Ren Sinclair is also really climbing the mountain. I'll tell you what, man, the talent pool in NXT and in WWE's women's division in general is so stacked right now. We can't even find time for people on the main roster, which is why I don't know why we're bringing more people up. No offense, Tatum Paxley, but let's be honest. If we keep bringing people up, we already can't find a way to get Jordan Grace on TV. But that being said, this, I think, is designed to give Zarya another major hurdle to get to that next level, become NXT Women's Champion at some point, and then eventually the main roster. Or it could be the other way around. Ren Sinclair losing her Speed Championship, might not do her any favors, whereas beating Zarya for the Women's North American Championship could really skyrocket her career. So maybe that's what this is being used for. Either way, my concern is this. Historically speaking, Sol Ruca had these two championships simultaneously and then ended up losing one by forfeiture and one when Zarya defended it for her. I think it's kind of coincidental that if Zarya wins this and has both, it'll be the girl who, turned on her is the one who then gets them both back. But this sounds like it's a unification to eliminate one. And if you're going to eliminate one or the other, it's going to be the Speed Championship. Let's be honest. The Women's North American Championship was really one of the first mid-card championships for women in WWE. So I don't anticipate them getting rid of that anytime soon. That being said, you got to wonder to yourself, are we getting rid of the Speed division altogether? Is there going to be a unification for the men's side of things? And here's the thing. I understand some people don't care for the Speed division, but it is an interesting concept. The matches are high tempo and they really serve their purpose. I know it was originally created for special episodes on X or whatever, but at this point it does have a place on the card. It really does. I don't know how much the Speed Championship actually means in a greater scheme of things, but it's still something that adds a layer to the program. Kind of sad to see it go if it is actually going away. Next topic of conversation, Court Bauer. If you're not familiar with Court Bauer, he is the booker and owner of MLW, has clarified there was some conversation about whether or not Tessa Blanchard was in the cards for MLW, and he made it clear that MLW is in talks with Tessa Blanchard. That's all the information he can give at this time. Now, keep in mind, Tessa Blanchard was in TNA. She was gone for several years after some issues related to some backstage behavior, some potentially racist situations, whether or not she had made amends for those, how she actually felt, things like that. Went to Mexico, really started carving something out for herself in CMLL, and I almost feel like from her comments that she feels like that's like her home away from home kind of situation down in Mexico. So she was asked when she returned to TNA eventually to make a choice between TNA and CMLL, and she felt like she had done everything she could do in TNA, but CMLL is a place where she could really lay down a legacy. And after conversations with her father, the legendary Tully Blanchard, member of the Four Horsemen, who, by the way, we interviewed way back in the infancy of our show. Check it out in our archives. But he advised her as well to stick with CMLL. Now, maybe Court Bauer is more willing to work with CMLL talent because he is negotiating with Tessa Blanchard. They are having conversations about her appearing for the company, something she's never done before. So you got to keep an eye on that, because look, when she goes out there, Tessa Blanchard could tear it down. This is a former TNA World Heavyweight Champion. She really, a lot of people thought she'd be WWE bound by now, probably pairing off with Charlotte Flair in some kind of faction akin to the Horsemen. Never happened. She did appear at the original All In. And that's as close to AEW as she's ever been. But definitely an interesting career arc, like a storyline arc for her. Got to keep an eye on. Malachi Black, after his release from WWE, his first real important contribution has been announced. Progress Wrestling over in Europe is announced that he will be on their Odysee tour, multiple dates. There was a report out this week that he may be going back to the name Tommy End. If you didn't know that was his original name, that was one of his original stage names. That's what he used when he first debuted for WWE UK when they had that opening show. So it's exciting to see him going back to where he started. What's hard for me is that I feel like he has done enough, and especially in his most recent WWE run, he was really on the cusp of something very important and then was just cut. And I really thought that after leaving WWE and having some bad blood with AEW, that TNA really would present an interesting opportunity. Go reestablish yourself and maybe come back someday when you show WWE you have value, very much like Drew McIntyre did. But unfortunately, it doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. He's going back to Europe to do competing for Progress. I'm sure he'll make tours through the States and whatnot. He'll be in New Jersey, I think, this weekend or the next, doing a signing. So they're doing things, he and Zelina, his real-life wife. But it's exciting to at least know that he's going to be doing Progress, one of the biggest, most powerful independent wrestling organizations in Europe. Definitely should check it out if you get a chance. Find it on a streaming service of some kind. And last thing for this episode, Logan Paul in the news because people are saying that the reports are that Bron Breakker, and I hate to say it because it's not even really a reporter, the coach on the Coach and Bro show, saying that he has been told that in the back, Bron Breakker doesn't like Logan Paul, doesn't like his creative, doesn't want to be around Logan Paul, whatever. Logan Paul reacted finally on X with basically a WTF LOL. And I don't even know what that means, but it certainly doesn't sound like he's corroborating the report that he and Bron don't get along. I suspect Bron gets along with pretty much everybody. From everything I've heard, that he's a really nice young man. So I hope he and Logan get along. However, there's a difference between personalities getting along in their private life and having any conflict over booking. Because right now, in the Vision, up until 2 weeks ago, Bron was an afterthought. It was all about Austin Theory, and according to Coach and Bro, Austin Theory is who WWE wants to put their money behind. But then in the last 2 weeks, the revival of Bron's character with this teasing of he and Oba getting involved in a feud. So much so that Austin Theory, after his match with Tozawa on Raw, charged at Oba and got laid out with one boot, which made him look weaker, and now all of a sudden you're back to Bron looking much more strong. I don't know where this is going to go, but I was interested in seeing Logan Paul's response. I'm sure that it gets frustrating when you don't get the creative that you want to have, but that doesn't mean that people are going to alienate each other and take issue with being around each other. They're all professionals. They're all great athletes. I just hope they work this thing out because let's be honest, Bron, Oba, Jacob Fatu, they are the future of this company, and we need to find time and ways to get them all on television. And I said this in a previous episode. I truly believe if you cultivate this correctly, Bron Breakker and Oba Femi could be a Randy Orton, John Cena-esque lifetime feud where they just go back to those programs repeatedly over the years, and that would be pretty exciting, and I hope that's something they, potentially follow through with. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, goes out to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in our show. If you want to bring a new friend to family game night, it's easy. I got 3 options for you. First off, Sketchy People from Beezle Games, kind of a combo between Pictionary and Chutes and Ladders. Or if you want to test your skills against everybody else in the shopping world, see who can get in and get out of the supermarket the quickest, hop over and grab a copy of Banani Market by Doodle Games. Or one more option for you. If you want to travel the cosmos and try to grab all the relics and on your way to the final challenge, grab a copy of Legendary Elements from Fufu Games. All 3 games available at thegamecrafter.com, supporting independent creativity every time I can. TheGameCrafter.com, loaded with independent game makers. And look, you've been bringing the same board games to family game nights for years, your whole life probably. It's time for something different. Give one of these 3 a shot. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next opportunity, stop by my website, frolifeplanning.com, for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us tonight. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a good one.
Crossing the